everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Lifting. Today's episode is being recorded on 7/21/25. This is going to be the BOBDATE part two. That was originally going to be at the end of the conference, but it didn't seem to happen at that time. So we're just doing this now. But as of this moment, I now open this circle to true benevolence and no conflicting agendas as of this moment in time. So, Joanna?
We are all one, and when one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is, that only the highest good be done. We pray for you, your friends, your family, your loved ones to let healing energies in. Let them love you, let them nourish you, and let them bring you to your highest good. We ask for benevolence now with no conflicting agenda to come in now and to be with us so that we may have this conversation in great understanding. And we ask for malevolent or mischievous type beings to be swept away so that we may have this conversation in peace. And with that, and with great blessings that we always send your way, we say, so be it.
So be it. Yes, where we left off with Bob, he was talking about those wraith type beings that were at the Serata that he was keeping on him and Burgess were keeping under control. And then, as you saw in all the subsequent episodes and videos from the conference, we both had drama ensuing from both princes of the universe that happened to be around, and also from the skull and some of the partial inhabitants of that, and some other drama in which you saw on stage. So, where there was agent influence, all this other stuff there. So, and not by what people thought was the obvious. So I cannot go into it for more private reasons until we know more. But just suffice it to say that it looked like it was about to turn into the Jerry Springer show real fast. So as you saw. So with that said, I will see. Okay. Bob, he wanted me to keep one of the dragon the heads that I still had available in storage for him to use. Like Burgess uses the one from in the other room, but they're at the storage locker at the moment, at the time of this recording. So I told him that he could use the circle pit out there, the fire pit that's the focal point for this moment in time. I put sand from the Serata all through there, as the silica layer that's in there, which works really well. And then you put magnetite, sand, clay, all those things in there, shungite, all that. And it works incredibly well as a focal point for your yard. You can still have your fires in it and everything. So, but you just don't use garbage to light it, or do anything like that. So, Bob, I just see you have a face sticking up through there, just like it's like a dog going through a doggy door, and they can only fit their head in there. So he's kind of like this, and so up to or like looking with partial eye there, like through a porthole or like a peephole or something. And so it's not big enough for him to go through, so he just kind of sticks his face through it. So uh, so I thought that was actually pretty interesting. And the fact that Serata sand is being used, that's a good conduit for him. So I found that interesting. So because he was the one that told me earlier to keep layering it, even if the rain washes a little bit of it out, just keep layering with silica. Uh, so okay, Bob the dragon, benevolent Bob the dragon. Uh, and Isaac goes, get it? He's Pete's dragon. Get it? Pete's dragon. Saint Pete's. Yeah, I get the joke, Isaac. Okay, that was kind of dumb. All right, let's see. Actually, the dragon I believe, was named Elliot, as I recall, but okay. All right. Okay, Bob. Okay, weird. Because I don't even have my hat in here. Okay, that's fine with me. All right. Bob, what are you doing? Hang on a second. Okay. Yeah, it's a few things in the way, but nothing that me and Burgess cannot handle. So, just wanted to update. After the last of the people left the Serata and surrounding areas, the protection bubble that you guys put in place partially stayed firm, and I don't mean in a negative way. It took a bit of a beating, especially on the last night you were there. But at the same time, the crystals you left behind and the subsequent stone offerings that you left in the dirt and shungite offerings that you left in the water, Valley of Fire, Red Rock Canyon, etc., and other sands from around you did help pretty well. It's on the granular level, and it is actually assisting quite well. So I do not ramble on. I will. You can just ask me anything. What he had a couple of things at the top of there, and that's pretty much.
Okay, the problem is I can't read them, so I'll have to take a break in a second and go get my glasses. But of course, the first and foremost question is, what is going on over in this world right now with us? Because, there's a little bit of problems going on. So, and again, we're gonna cut this. So I just need to know, because I will not have a conversation with anyone until someone explains what's going on. I'm assuming you're not under any yield, but,
A whole lot of shit going on, let's just say. So with that, I'm only partially joking, but hmm, as long as this not is not your public venue, I can actually be open. So this, how can I say this? Your Belodian friends are trying to do things, and someone else does not want them to do them, and they are fighting one. How can I say this? One treaty or contract over another, and one side is using loophole, and the other side using their own branch treaty. So, well, actually, technically, they're both branch treaties, but at the same moment in time, this has caused a tug of war. Think also from where you went or came from, higher vibrational to a slower vibration. This will cause issues too. But, excuse a moment. Burgess and I had to pull apart something. So, anyway, he came to my homeland, so I came to his. So, totally fair. But with this, what you did was right and correct. Not everyone agrees. They wish to. This goes far and above and beyond causing drama. This is this is interference on a large scale, but I will say that last time he tried to summon the Velodians, or not with Stephen, before that, this same type of thing occurred. To where there were other sources, both military and reptilian and such, that did not wish him to speak to them because the loophole is always telepathy, you see. that one above all other things is a loophole. Knowing this, you guys found a source that was an even better loophole. So, what happens? One faction not liking another. One trying to behave in a civilized manner, while another one is behaving like a raving idiot. So, and a butthurt one at that. So, with that said, this is what's causing it.
Right, but it truly is causing him great distress.
Mm. More than just distress.
No, I get it. Obviously, I believe again, this will be cut. I'll keep saying this over and over again. Oh, there's direct harm. How about that?
Mhm.
Let's just get, I mean, apparently,
You are getting ready to see. I hate to say more than you bargained for, but that's not exactly true. Your oversoul's bargained for it, but at the same time, literally in some instances. But in this, it is exactly what you asked for, albeit they wrote a glass shards. Somebody is actually wordsmithing this to where, oh, this is what he meant, or this is what you meant. Yes, you could say this, but not quite. It's always some weird variation of it. But when it comes to the Velodians, they're very direct. This is not them. They're actually very kind people. The ones that don't want people to be healed of things. If he were to be totally healed of things, that healing would pass on to others vibrationally, and through what he pisses and shits out would then cause subsequent molecular changes, even in the sewers, you see. And certain viruses and diseases would be cured via the fumes, you see. This they do not wish. Even if one thing would be fixed, this is what would happen. Somebody poops, and since everybody poops, it then fixes things. You see how efficient some of these pieces of tech are. You cure something, and then that subsequently passes on to the molecular level that way. So this is a little underhanded way that things are spread, just like how you spread your organ pieces or shungite chunks, and you just do little stone things over here. This is that kind of thing, where they know everybody has to find a toilet, and they know if he receives something long enough and good enough, all that would take is having to poop or pee. And they don't want that. But they know what if it happens, they can't stop it. So this is what you're up against.
so I hear you. You need to, I am asking you to, not you need to. I feel others around him need to help him through this because he's about there to lose his mind right now. So somehow or another, somebody has to.
They are angry that Colonel Kramer's friends were able to heal his feet to where he could walk correctly again. They did not want this. This was a permanent change. They did not want permanent change. This is the level of healing even a distance healing from the Velodians can offer, see. So this, and they're in the process of healing other stuff, and therefore there's an arm wrestle ensuing, knowing that the change would be permanent.
So I mean, I just am asking from yours and the collective's experience, who now can all kind of relay through you, I guess. You need to give him something, be it is getting better, you will get better, hang in there, whatever and I don't mean hang in there with what I mean, with a fishing line, you know what I mean? I mean, some sort of truth. Is it from your perspective that in the end here, in the next few months, he will feel a lot better in all areas? Is that the goal?
Yes, fighting a couple of different viral contagions, bacterial and disease variants. Yes, uh, and bone malformities and things of that nature. The easiest to do were the bone malformities. This is what they are repairing first. Just like he says he does the easy peasy files first. This is what they're doing. They're going for the easiest things to hit first, knowing for a full well, unless he was hit with a large hammer in the legs, it wouldn't undo it. And they can't exactly do that. Because not only would they be in violation, they would have, he says, holy hellfire rain down on them for a direct assault like that. They're not going to do that. So they only did it once when they did the injury. That's all they were allowed. The treaties have changed since then. They were only allowed that one mulligan, you see. So they've shifted too much since then. Like his friend Karen with the bedbug assault, because it was another faction trying to get around not being able to abduct her. So they used the bedbugs to take samples. This, he and Isaac dubbed them the bedbug faction after that, which now everybody laughs at them. Then people have made printouts, flags, the whole bit. In this, it's the same thing, where things are shifting out of certain factions' favor into favor of others. The lines on a map change periodically. Like you have swing states, like blue-red. It's very similar to like how your Virginia goes blue-red all the time. And some stay firm, like Illinois blue, Arizona and Texas red, things of that nature. Very similar in its application. And they consider it very similar, but more vicious in its implementation. But the what I'm trying to say is the uh, healing that is being done. The feet thing is permanent. His arches don't feel complete because they're lower set. As Crow Kramer said, they either had the ability to raise them or flatten them, make them so they function but on a flatter level. That's what they did. They did what you asked.
Mhm. I don't
So
think there's any problem with that. I think it's more, again, I didn't, even in that conversation with him, I didn't hear too much agreed to upon on the GI level, honestly. But I am curious, what is your understanding of what will happen with him?
the GI stuff was part of the deal. It's just that is slightly more complicated.
Okay.
There is bacteria involved, candida and others. No parasites; those have been removed. Also, the bone malformities they're doing first because that supports the skeleton supports everything else. They're doing an order operations. They're in the middle of an order of operations. What supports everything is being done first.
And is it the contrasting force that's not focusing on making his life miserable with his stomach? Is that what's going on?
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. And the sleepiness in the brain. You see, they're also altering the central nervous system
Mhm.
to make sure that it is actually more stable.
Mhm.
Uh,
You wouldn't know that. You wouldn't have known that.
no, you misunderstand what is occurring.
I think I'm just playing around.
No, you misunderstand what is occurring
Okay.
because if you've had something for a long period of time
Mhm.
and it is now taken away or corrected,
Mhm.
what does the brain do? The brain goes through a withdrawal period. The brain does not know how to handle it. This is why it's being done slowly. If it was all at once without an additive, because you see, they would have added something to the brain to inhibit any withdrawal symptoms. They cannot do that one remotely. They must do it in person. Since they cannot, and they can only do it the way they're doing it,
Mhm.
they must do the other slowly. You say millimeters and centimeters.
Mhm.
This makes it even more permanent than if they band-aid ripped it. So this is what they are attempting to do. They have been working around the clock to fix the problem. They do not believe in blockages. They don't believe in leaving things for show or to keep up appearances or to how can I put it, for other treaties. But seeing as the treaties are in flux or in play, they are doing the other thing slowly, knowing full well it is not part of it. See, they're anything but if not but clever. So they know how to find workarounds around workarounds. This is what they're doing. They're so anally analytical to a fault that they've done this because of their medical expertise. So they're doing it, trying to do it for legal as well. And this is what they're doing right now.
So the pendulum swing of emotions is part of the withdrawal.
Mm.
And you think it will stabilize?
Mm-hmm. You getting that device will help that immensely as well. Part of it is on your guys' side, like what was done at the conference. This is what kick-started the entire thing. They were waiting to have at least halfway stabilized on its own. Then they could ask Colonel Kramer to take it the rest of the way. Loopholes within loopholes, you say, nesting dolls of loopholes, as he said.
Okay. So I'm hoping, obviously, that Chris is hearing this as well, because this is very, I had to say it, I only know one word, this is very traumatic right now, what is going on with the tug of war. So any kind, loving support that can come our way from benevolence, from entities with no conflicting agenda would be greatly appreciated during this time, because this is very, very, very difficult, it seems. So,
I must say, though, that there will come a time, not too distant future here, where this kind of situation will be laughed upon. You would say, look back and laugh.
like we would look back and laugh like, holy smokes, look at that time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can agree that that's how things work. You know what I mean? That we, honestly, we laughed our way through a lot at the conference. So, I kind of believe you, but obviously when you're in the midst of it, it's a bit, it's very hard.
You see, Colonel Kramer he's at the same stage he's at, you see, where he's kind of wondering which direction to take this. And it's the same thing, frustrated with those that don't get it. And this is why he was frustrated there at the conference.
Right.
The same thing, same identical conundrum.
So my reading between the lines with what you were saying is that, with more attention comes more of that. And that's the walking on glass shards. How do you not lose it like him? Because we can't lose it.
Oh, yes, yes. Even though he was on point, did you notice the reaction from the peanut gallery?
Oh, sure.
They are all programmed, even ones that you saw as allies were actually turning on him. This is how you know when you have not only a gaslighting, that you have an ally that is going through the same things you are. You saw it right in front of your eye there. The ones that were also plucked, some of them are also friends and allies, like your friend Ida. Some of them are adversaries, like Yimmy. You saw they were all different varying levels of falling for it. And the peanut gallery in the background coddling the tear-wrought individual. You saw all the components in play.
Right.
And multiple variables. This also is why you had Valiant Thor's presence there. Him and his couple of ships were there as well. Did they have an operative in play? Yes. Was that woman one of them? Yeah. Should I give away Valiant Thor's playbook? Maybe, maybe not.
But, but just to kind of tie this subject in about, you heard us talking because Chris's mom was concerned about something that she felt was really directed at me. Was any of that, first of all, was her looking at that correct? It's hard for me to believe that operative would have been the one that did it because it doesn't make sense?
No. You're dealing with multiple parties.
Okay. Now, I can believe that there would be ones that would.
All assholes, all of them. You're
Right.
dealing with multiple factions, like he's saying in that
Mhm.
Star Trek episode where they were all hunting for the progenitor stuff, and you had multiple ATs.
Right.
This is the thing that's going on.
Right.
The exact same type of dynamic.
Okay.
So
So I can believe it. It would have been hard for me to believe that it was the operative because that wouldn't make sense. It would definitely, I would definitely feel like, obviously it could have been a number of people.
Multiple parties with vested interest.
Yes, with vested interest to show, that hatred.
Some were interested in the artifact.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they were dug up from a place
Mm-hmm.
that that they had been resting for centuries.
Right.
And within the energy frequency, they were plucked. Now, you know what happens when something is torn up. And things follow and attach. And then not to mention the inhabitants of the skull. And also the operative, which Valiant Thor was actually interested in the artifacts too. And still is. Wanted someone close. And also, you had several people there playing their roles well. All deserve an Academy Award.
Exactly, right? That's what
Big
I wanted
Oscar statue and an Emmy.
That's what I wanted to give her. I wanted to go up there and say, "Great job, boy! You could do it well."
Maybe even a Grammy on top of it. But
I hear you on that one.
but you will see some of the results of this here in the not too distant future.
You mean hopefully in a positive way?
Yes, positive, I say in quotes because it all uprooting this is positive.
Right. But I mean, I'm hoping, again, more people are able to actually see it for what really, really shouldn't be allowed type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that in the end, that Academy performance did its job and it really helped. So, let me, before I go, again, this is all off the topic, because I gotta get my glasses to read this page. But, as far as, I may repeat this question, but I just want to know first for my benefit, I may repeat it on this. So after the talk on Thursday, early evening, when the whole thing on the stage occurred, the skull was there, the whole bit.
Yeah.
And then no more than 2 hours later, we're sitting in the room with a great bunch of people trying to also really look at it again and realizing something went wrong. What was brought up there again was that something else was activated that wasn't good. Did that other piece of it, as was hopefully happened during that time with the friends that we were with, did that really happen and did it really get shut down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to know if that was true.
Oh yes, all of that was true. Yes.
Okay, let me go get my glasses, then we can kind of do a better show here. So talking. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
What is the true origin of the Mothman?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I thought we were going to talk about the show.
Yes, that too.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to say edit, and then if you want to go back to a starting hello to everyone, we'll probably just have to redo this start if that's okay with you. Okay, you ready? Okay, edit.
Yes, hello. We are in channel at the moment, and now this is for BOBDATE 2025. The Sarata, as I said previously, is actually from the clearing doing quite well. From all the turmoil that took place, from all of this that took place, all the drama and all of the waves, no pun intended, that were made, it's actually still standing, of course. But I'm saying it both physically and energetically. It had weather control thrown at it before, 2 times, and it was still standing. Because you want to know why it was hit 2 times? It's because cabal factions like to skulk around in that area, and they fire weather control at each other periodically. And from Helene and Milton, you saw what happened. Milton was the one that nailed it a little more, but in the end, it's just fine. Even though they said they had to repair stuff, and it kicked up a bunch of energies in the interim, and those wraiths there that were more than happy to oblige. Because even if it all fell over, they would be happy because this would actually, that energy from the collapse would actually aid them in their cause. So, do you have questions for me?
Yeah, first a comment, because when Chris and I went there and got there on Saturday night before the conference, one of our goals was to make offerings, make a grid, put some things there permanently.
It's still there.
Right, and so hopefully there will be just a positive continuation of energy, whether or not we're there or not, because that's the goal, to try and start by millimeters and centimeters, raising the frequency of a place. I will say it's interesting coming back. It's always when you're in it, you get used to it and it's great and happy. It's when you leave the place that you can start to feel the energy difference from when you were there to now coming out of it. And, we said the same thing, when we left Chad's place at Spirit Lake. And we would definitely say the same thing about our experience there, that it did manage to get into a bit of a higher vibrational state. Although there really was, I think the one thing that surprised me was how much counter force there was. So the fact that we could get it into a higher vibrational state, which it really was in, but there really was some opposition there, maybe more. I'm going to say it was more than what kind of I had expected. So I feel the conference under all of these circumstances was great and went off great, because there really was a lot of conflict there. Would you agree?
There were a lot of ET races there, and also some of the things that caused the drama when he muttered the loved one under his breath. This broke apart the control, and the bad guys got desperate and snapped to it real fast. Went, okay, fight, and that's exactly what happened. They did not know what to do under that declaration. It makes them nervous. At least some of the ones that were there, you're dealing with multiple parties. And you're dealing not with just from the Wraith that were already there. You're dealing with also, of course, Forest people, Aldebaran Nordics, which you call the Princes of the Universe, which we find laughable, because of Freddie Mercury and his song. And also with the other parties as well, there's positive ones that were all over the place as well. Your little tree friend, for instance, your and his family. You also had a ton of gnomes and leprechauns that were there as well, and you also had Isaac and his contingent. Your two lady friends were absent because they were actually more afraid of the princes of the universe. Those would probably have to be, I have to say, the most ferocious of the negativity that was around.
Oh, I would agree with that. That's why we jokingly call them the Princess of the Universe.
Yes, and they hate your guts for this, because I know you don't give a shit, but they are, let's just say, if you saw one of these individuals, they would look like they were photoshopped walking around. You see, they're too pretty. They're way too pretty. You have regular hot person, then you have obnoxiously, cartoonishly not hot. So, with that said, they were probably not to stroke their egos, but they were the most ferocious thing that was there. And some parties were afraid to be around them. I mean, then you had the inhabitants of the skull, which swing both ways. I mean, you had evil that was there, of course. You had some good, but then you have some evil that was there that the forest people were like, nah, we're good. Because they did not want to get harmed, and I don't blame them. Physically, could they take on a few things? Yes, but even they have a very difficult time with the princes of the universe.
So it's very interesting because again, after the eventful Thursday evening, which obviously everyone's seen by now, and you've seen the subsequent 2 hours later discussion with some really good people, good people who were talking with us during that time to try and figure out that there was something a little bit more there. Again, a bit frustrated with myself for seeing things and then excusing it when it was actually showing me exactly what was going on, and I absolutely dismissed it and shouldn't have. But so glad to have such good people that were with us that still wanted to work and let's look at this a little bit further and and let's there's something else also going on. So I am just so proud to be associated with those good people who were with us at that moment as we were talking further about it, so that something positive could come of all of it. And again, just to reiterate, I wanted to get your perspective that what was done during that time when something was activated from your perspective, the right thing that needed to be done to either shut things down or deal with it. It really did happen from your perspective.
Yes. Yes. It was, how can I put this? With all the treaties and crap like that are out there, if someone on your end initiates things, someone else can assist in helping. But a certain level has to be reached, those damn loopholes and all. You guys were starting to fix this. Again, Audrey channel. Channeling is not within the legal purview. See, then by locating, still not within the legal purview of the treaties. Starting to correct something, which then began to destabilize things in other areas, which then warranted another party to help step in and stabilize it. You see, so it's all interwoven. So yes, there was something done.
That's wonderful.
More than you know, but something was done.
Yeah, and again, just on a personal note, I can tell you one of the joys that Chris and I had there were spending time with some of these folks, Audrey, and David and Michael, and others that we got to spend time with. It just really did. It just brought us so much joy to be around some of these people and to be able to sit and talk and collaborate with them. It really meant a lot to us. So of course, we look forward to any time that we get to spend and or meet new people just like them. We just look forward to it a lot. So overall, I think, again, like I've said, I am curious of your perspective. My perspective is that it was a raving success amongst all the little minor lumps and bumps, and I'm going to refer to them as minor lumps and bumps. Yes. But, from your perspective, how do you feel the conference went?
It was a screaming success. Let's just put it that way. And even with literal screaming in there, it was a screaming success.
Exactly.
Even screams you did not hear that were very faint. And it's one of those, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around, does anybody hear it kind of thing. And his favorite joke, his mother and him go back and forth with, was a Far Side comic that says, if a mime walks in the forest or if a tree falls in the forest and it falls on a mime, does anybody care? So that's your Princes of the Universe right there. That's a joke against them, because some of them are pale skinned and they look like mimes. So therefore, well, there's also some of the tall white shitheads and some of the Blankeneer shitheads that were also around, and those are the mimes that the tree fell on in the forest. And since no one was around, nobody cared. So this, even though they did make a sound.
Right.
So they made a very large, screechy, banshee-like noise that would pierce the ears of even the least sensitive person.
Right.
Make this whistle screech thing that you'd want, like a weird dog whistle. Your bodies would hear it, you wouldn't. That's why dogs go crazy with the same pitch tone. Some of the tall whites are related, of course, to your Lanulosian contingent, but the Lancaneers are a separate bunch.
Mhm.
They have a similar whistle type thing, though. That's annoying as hell. It hurts our ears. But the thing of it is, the leaf tree fell in the mine and nobody cared in this instant. So I use that as a joke, but we're actually glad it fell on the mime. But the mime in this case would be an entire group
Right.
trying to make its way out of the invisible box with the invisible rope around its neck. And so what I'm trying to say is treaty violated, somebody got arrested. So that what the whole cheese premise where you do something or they do something against you too much and then bye-bye. That's essentially what happened.
Well, good. Well, I am glad, but again, wonderful success. Hope this grows. Hope the plan for the network grows in a wonderful way. I hope they do have quarterly get-togethers, even if it's online, and then, leading to other conferences, however it works. Everything to, again, build a genuine, authentic unity around this information is great. Again, wonderful to be able to get the Bob date right now. Chris did add a few questions that he wanted me to ask, not necessarily related to the conference, I don't think, but I think part of it is I think part of this is because of discussions that we were having with people that were kind of like, what's your opinion on this? So
yes, he aimed them originally at the forest people, but the forest people got into a bind with the princes of the universe and didn't have time. So
right. So how are the forest people doing now?
they are fine, except they are more than happy to have been kind of the cheese in that respect. Not necessarily happy. That is the wrong choice of words. They're actually hopping mad at the Galactic Federation testers, as a matter of fact. But they ended up being part of the cheese that nailed the princes of the universe, or the mime being having a tree fall on them and nobody cared.
Right.
That was the thing. And they were not very happy. They call it bait, but you know what they mean.
I do know what they mean, because every now and then I think Chris and I have been putting
They're
that
furious.
situation.
They thought they were being let to sit on the table, and they ended up being bait. They are not happy right now. This is why he hasn't heard from them too much. They are actually furious.
So,
They're fine, but they're furious.
but it doesn't mean they still won't make their way to the table.
Yeah, they will definitely make their way to the table. In fact, they're being awarded seats at the table for the fact that this sting went off without a hitch, and also the fact that they would have been extremely mad had they not gotten something, and they deserve to get something. So,
Absolutely. So we say congratulations.
mhm.
Sorry it had to go down the way it did, but we can't wait to hear your stories of sitting at the table and give them hell. So, okay. What I want to do again, we're going to divert to a couple questions that Chris wrote down, and I'm just going to read this. What is the origin, the true origin of the Mothman, and what group caused the Point Pleasant Bridge disaster?
The Mothman is an interdimensional insectoid species, which is actually kind, or some of them. They're dimensional travelers. Not all bugs are bad. These are how can I put it, a bioluminescent type of bug, like you would see, or like how a crustacean would be under the ocean. In this instance, they're more like a butterfly moth, and when they come into this dimension, they have this weird, like ethereal type of thing surrounding them. Excuse, there is an interruption. In this, who caused the actual bridge disaster? They were trying to stop the bridge disaster. They were actually trying to stop a nuclear plant from blowing up at the time that was further up the river. And it was volleyed and it shot toward the bridge. The Galactics at the time chose to let the bridge disaster remain in play. This then became the false flag that distracted against other things, ET wise, that had to be taken care of. The cheese, again, or the bait, again, but it was more of an opportunistic cheese and bait. In this instance, it was more having a little cheese with the wine kind of thing, because there was a whiny group, not unlike the Princes of the Universe. It wasn't them. It was a Nordic group, though, that was going for the nuclear plant, but they were more terroristic and they were trying to destroy it. But you start destabilizing nuclear rods, the only thing they want to do is melt and go boom. And so this was another dimensional group tried to stop them from making it go boom, because they wanted to make a point about how society was going down the wrong path. So boom. And you've heard this story before, by the way, which this is why your military had that on the table for, okay, this could speed things up if something goes boom. Somebody was going to say, okay, boom, but interdimensional species went, no. This is why Isaac said other dimensional species didn't want the nuclear option. This is why your Mothman is one of them.
Right.
So they're like, no. And this was a more of a terroristic Nordic group that wasn't part of a set operation like that, but it was more of like a activist type of group. And granted, like a Pleiadian-esque type Nordic, but that's a general term you guys like to use, but they were from one of the other star clusters there. If you saw them, they would just look like you, but they would look like some of your activist types as well, but if that had a face. But they were going for the nuclear plant. They ended up hitting the bridge, and then everybody left it in play going, okay, at least it didn't hit the nuclear plant.
Right.
Because nobody could help the people at that point. The Mothman could not, but the other group decided to blame him by labeling him a harbinger of doom or angel of death, a sign of death and destruction after that. Well, we'll give him an allegory. This is what happened.
Okay.
Or them, I should say.
And it's stuck, so it's probably why they really don't make themselves known very much at all anymore. Yes,
that, and there's also a bat species that was seen on your Sears Tower in Illinois, and people neglected to call him Batman, even though that would have been perfect. Also in your Sedona had Batman, Fae, all of that there. And then you have an owl species that's interdimensional as well that would have also been affected by the nuclear plant going on. You've encountered them. They call themselves the Passage. Why they give themselves that name, I don't know. Other than the fact that they live in a fragmentary of the Bifrost, which again, Passage, Nibiru Passage type of thing. Yeah, which Nibiru is always attributed to the other Earth, but anyway, Earth Asgard mix. But with this, they would have been affected too. They didn't get involved because they were pussies. So Mothman, well, his group, or that particular collective, were the only ones that had the gonads or the balls to stand up to the activist group at the time.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you on that. And then another question that came up is, why do fairies, gnomes, and leprechauns get so easily offended?
Yes. That group in Star Trek where that group is offended at everything, they base those aliens off of the ones that no matter what you do, I'm offended, and then you have to apologize all the time. This is exactly like the Crystalians or whatever they call them, Crustalians or whatever they call them. Very similar in makeup. They based them off of Fae types, certain ones, not the tree Fae, not you guys. You guys are cool. The ones in your trees out here, and Ben Orkfoil's people, they're awesome. The ones he's referring to, not the one even that Audrey was channeling. No. These other butthurt little tit babies get offended at even the slightest inflection difference in your voice. You might be pissed off about something that you offend me. And Grandpa fall under this category too sometimes. 0 to 6 to offended in 6.2 nanoseconds sometimes. It depends on the clan. But, well, it also depends who they're working for, because sometimes they're messengers that are also spies and eyes and ears for people too, like the bat people as well. But why they are so offended? Very easily is because, for reasons you guys have said personally off recording, when someone has a certain energy that's explosive, even if they're not aimed at a particular party, it's filling a room. This affects them, therefore they get easily offended and butthurt. I'm actually being kind when I say this. They have been known to sit there and brood because nothing. They'll wake up on the wrong side of the bed and get offended that there's sunshine. That's more like Grandpa territory. They were called Clurians in your Irish mythology, and leprechauns were their rivals. And these were the gizmo-looking guys that you all have known and loved. And even if you are in a slightly bad place that day, they do not give a rat's butt. In this instance, they're going, these humans are disturbing my peace by doing nothing but having a normal human moment. Let's harass them and make it work. Let's throw things, steal things, and all this. Your boggarts, your brownies, and your all-around bungholio races that are out there. If you don't clean things exactly as the brownies and the boggarts and all of them want you to do, they will harass you by throwing even more crap in your way energetically. Yeah, yes, they will. They won't clean the energy right, so we'll basically take a shit on them. This is basically their mentality. This is the way they've been for thousands of years. Puckwudgies are they are always offended. They're offended at nature itself. They want to just sit around, breed like rabbits, and have and just infest areas with just their overall poop. So they're in a constant state of being butthurt. And if you have to take care of one of their nests, sometimes they will wreak holy hellfire down on an area. One puckwudgie could go through an apartment building and basically kill all the pets in the building if they were so inclined to do so. So you're dealing with butthurtedness all around. The why varies from day to day, though. So that is more open-ended. So there's not one reason why.
Okay. Well, thank you for that explanation. And so I believe this is the last one he wrote down. And again, it's something brand spanking new. What are the new holes in Yellowstone?
Those are sinkholes underneath being caused by dark elf tampering. They're trying to cause the big one, you see. And they did it for Mount St. Helens. That's why it exploded in 1980. And they're trying some things around your Mount Shasta and your mount with the other mountain that is across from that one. His brain is being hit. They don't like being talked about. You call them Syrians, but they're technically dark elf types, Lemurian descent lineage, and they're trying to creep into Yellowstone, drilling underneath. Military does this too. They're trying to get to an old piece of tech that is in Yellowstone, an old bomb. And there was one that they've attempted to get to, old stone piece of tech in that area, and they're wanting to set it off and try to bring about that timeline. It's not happening, but that's their activity, are those depressions, those sinkholes. And sinkholes in Florida are similar, but only the groups there, some of them are dragon, believe it or not, like myself. There was a butthurt dragon that got sick of a neighborhood being above his lair, one of our disgruntled folk, and decided that he was going to swallow an entire neighborhood into it. This is what happened in your state of Florida one time. The consensus, like your Sasquatch Moot and several others and other galactics, basically said that's too much interference. They cannot do this, no matter how butthurt they get at people. And it's like in your Elder Scrolls with your Sigic Order and Daedric Lords, those contracts going back and forth because one of them got butthurt at humans and decided to turn them into a village of zombies. That's your Molag Bal character. That kind of crap. And then your Sigic Order went, no, you can't interfere and manifest on Mundus or what Earth is in that. Same thing happened with that set of sinkholes that swallowed a whole neighborhood. That was one dragon that did that.
Hmm.
And other sinkholes are caused by your military drilling and drilling into honeycomb pockets, and it sinks down in. Your military is also trying to cull areas as well of people and mining underneath them. And they figure they can blame it on a natural disaster. What do you think happened in your Asheville, North Carolina with your lithium mines? With the weather control?
Mm-hmm.
This is the same thing. Oh, sinkhole, everybody's dead, we can claim it.
Mm-hmm.
There was a dragon that did the whole neighborhood one, but then there was also your military that also have done multiple neighborhoods. So this is what's going on with it.
Okay, well, thank you. So, any last contributions to this post-conference report of yours, Bob?
Yes, hoping to do multiple Bob dates. At first, I thought it was a little irritated by that, but then it grew on me because it was Isaac that kept going. The Bob date kept doing that to me, and it's finally okay, fine. If I end up liking it, he won't find it funny anymore. So I ended up liking it, so it stuck. But anything also here at the Serrata in that area, everything is all calm at the moment.
Well, that's great. That's great. So wishing you and your family well.
Mm-hmm.
Look forward to, being closer to you. I'm hoping again for a nice 2026 conference to go off well. And then, we'll talk later, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you for having me on again. Thank you. Goodbye. Also, one other thing I was seeing in my head, another sinkhole disclosure type of thing was Ash versus Evil Dead, the season finale to the first season of that, where you see him driving towards Florida and all these sinkholes are forming, as he ends up making a deal with an evil witch that's in it, which is Lucy Lawless, and Bruce Campbell does this, and he's driving away in the car going to Florida, and you're seeing all these sinkholes. Well, it's demons that are doing it in the show. So they're basically saying demons are the military. He's basically pegging on this, and as also reptilian forces, which I suppose Draco were like in that, and Deadites in that, zombies. But he also said a dragon did that, so it's basically similar. So I thought that's interesting if people saw that series. At this point, I don't know if you have anything else to add, Joanna.
No, I think we're going to give the conference this final close.
Yes. Final send off here for the 2025 Disclosure Now conference, which officially ended a couple of days ago, and their debuting did as well yesterday. So, with that said, I now close this circle within true benevolence and no conflicting agendas as of this moment in time. So, thank you, everybody. Bye bye now.